This is Fidjumana. So scientists are admitting that they do have the ability to modify the weather with cloud seeding.
To ABC News Live first. The question of where does rain come from is taking on a whole new meaning thanks to some hurricane season conspiracy theories. Some are apparently confusing the real science of cloud seeding with debunked theories about controlling the weather. So let's get into it in our new weekly segment where our chief meteorologist and climate correspondent, Ginger Z, tackles pressing climate questions and debunks misinformation. Here's our first installment of Climate A to Z.
My job is all about forecasting. But look, the rainfall rates could be 2 to 3 inches per hour with that stationary front today. And then showing what happened. Let's focus on what happened, though. So the good news is no one was killed by this storm so far. And this summer, we have had plenty of flash flooding.
Flash flooding in New Orleans, leaving cars submerged.
But this year, something has changed dramatically. It's like every time I post about flash flooding, I'll get people saying, "Oh, that's not nature. They are making it rain." It really all changed when Dubai had that historic rain event. So this myth started on the internet. And I'm not feeding trolls here, but that Dubai confusion had people in my real life asking if they were making it rain more. So can they really make it rain? Well, no one can make it rain, but there is something called cloud seeding where you can boost natural rainfall. It's experimented with since the 1950s. It's happening here in the United States, mostly Western states, and a lot in the UAE. How did they do it? Well, we got a chance to see it firsthand. There are currently 42 cloud seeding projects across the American West, like the one we see here in Utah, where they take this plane with the flares attached, fly into the storm, and send microscopic particles right into the cloud. The particles act like magnets for the water droplets. They bond them together and make it snow more than it naturally would. They're like steroids for the storm. So why do they do that? Well, they are making more snow in places like Nevada or Arizona because they need more snow, especially after the mega drought. And science has showed us that you can make 3 to 15% more snow in a given storm. And all the projects that have happened, that will happen, they're listed on NOAA's website. So it's not some secret. All that said, cloud seeding can't make it rain. It can't make a cloud. It can really only boost or amplify a storm that's already snowing or raining. And it's not like they're out there saying, "Oh, good, there's a storm that's going to flood out a city. Let's add some more." No, Dubai, they were not cloud seeding. Also, a well-forecasted storm like Connecticut, no cloud seeding. In fact, Connecticut has never done cloud seeding.
Ginger, it's easy to see why you could look at these planes, cloud seeding, and think something fishy's going on here. So how can you be sure that cloud seeding can't be used to cause hurricanes or other natural disasters?
Well, we can't be 100% sure. We don't know what every single person all over the world is doing. But I will say that there are a couple of things that we can be sure of and that get really confused often. One of them, and we've got an image here, is that people post this all the time and they say, "Okay, I see them. They're out there cloud seeding." That's an image. That's called a contrail. That is not, I repeat, not cloud seeding. That is water vapor from an airplane, of which we've got so many more these days than we ever have. And up in the highest elevations of where we fly, it's cold. And then that water vapor, especially as moisture's kind of coming in, so sometimes you'll see contrails more often. Well, that happens. We're going to see those. That's not making
That's just
rain.
planes flying, has nothing to do with cloud
You'd
seeding.
have to be pretty eagle-eyed to see actual cloud seeding, because cloud seeding airplanes would not be in a bright blue sky. You would see them only when there's already snow or rain. So they'd be in the storms. It's actually a really scary flight. And that's why a big reason we couldn't even go with them. So that's a distinction. You also saw in the piece there, it's not a secret. In fact, a lot of these programs are quite proud of the work that they've been able to do on a very small scale. And so they've done the research downstream and about the particles that do or do not make it to the ground for human health impacts. And there's a lot of research out there about that.
On the flip side, we've also seen huge rain events this year in Dubai and Spain and the Carolinas. What's causing that? And could cloud seeding be used to prevent those one day? Does it work in reverse?
I think there's a lot of science that we can never say never, but I do think that in the cases that we know there, Spain, Dubai, these were well forecasted storms. We knew they were going to happen. There was no cloud seeding. They would not do that to add to those storms. Could we, in some way, somehow, someday, figure out a way to reduce? I would hope so, but I'd say one of the biggest ones is to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions.
And so now we have verification that this is something that they are doing, and they wanted to keep that to themselves. Why would they finally come out and admit this? I guess it's most likely due to conspiracy theories and people suspecting them of doing this, and they got ahead of it for some reason, where now they're saying, yeah, it's no big deal, we've been doing this. They're saying we know how to seed clouds. Basically, they're saying they send stuff into the sky and the clouds will activate and they can produce more rain or snow at any given time. So with the days of the Native Americans doing the rain dance and stuff like that, people were wondering, can mankind affect the weather? Well, that was more magical and, you know, more ritualistic type stuff. Now science is saying that they can affect the weather. So that would sound kind of like the same thing to someone if you told them back then, the people that used to rain dance, like, yeah, you can affect the weather, watch this, you know. Well, it turns out science is admitting that they can manipulate the weather. So this is weather modification. What else can they do, you know, that they haven't told us? Because this is pretty advanced for them to be able to modify the weather. And so they're saying they can't make the clouds, but they can add the particles to boost, you know, like I said, rain or snow. And this is just what they're admitting they can do. So it looks like we now have the facts here, and we have our verification that this is what they can do. Can they cause storms perhaps as well? You know, can they cause tornadoes if they want? Or what about hurricanes? Like, how far does this weather modification go? When you got a very crazy storm that might appear and it's kind of abnormal, can they create the wind patterns? Who knows exactly how much power they have when it comes to the power of modifying the weather. This is a very powerful tool, though, as they perfect this technology. I mean, this is like playing God almost. It's like they can really determine if there's going to be a flood at that point. So we just got to be aware of this type of technology and understand that when you have bad weather days, sometimes you never know if it's a natural storm or if it's something that's man-made these days. So, and then what if it gets out of hand? Like, what if when they're seeding these clouds, what if that turns into something that they can't control? You never know. I mean, there's a lot of questions here, you know. It's just kind of unsettling that they would think to modify the weather. I mean, I don't know what you guys might think about this technology. Should they be leaving it alone? Should they be tampering with natural things like that? Is this okay with you, or is it just basic technology? Is this something that you're looking at like, okay, it's just science, it's no big deal? I mean, I just see that when it comes down to it, I have some concerns. Like I mentioned in this video, it's a bit concerning because with the government having the ability to control the weather, that's kind of a big deal. And so if that power gets into the wrong hands, what are you going to do at that point? If all of a sudden they can determine if one area they're going to flood out, or, you know, you got homes and stuff and property to think about. So I don't know, it's a bit concerning to me, at least, because now you have to understand that these people in charge of the system now have the ability to control the weather. So I just wanted to share this video with you today. Maybe get your thoughts on it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm going to leave some links for you if you want to do more research with me on weather. Also, I'll leave links to my other channels, my social media, my Feed Your Mind store, my free email newsletters, and much more. If you would like to support this channel, please donate as little as $1 by becoming a YouTube member or a monthly Patreon. So thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been Feed Your Mind signing off.